What makes you happy? I don't know about you, but I've got a long list of things that make me happy, ranging from espresso to Billy Joel. And of course, spiritually speaking, I want to add that God, Father, Son and Spirit, and his great gospel bring me joy. Of course they do. And that should hopefully go without saying for every church leader. And Paul sometimes uses the word joy, the Greek word kra, to mean exactly that. And I guess that's the way we nearly always read Galatians chapter 5. Being filled with the Spirit means being filled with that overwhelming sense of happiness. A sense that comes from knowing we're forgiven and part of the Father's eternal family in the Son. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for that kind of joy and I want more of it myself. But I'm not sure that's what Paul means here. Remember, all the fruit is primarily horizontal. And we need to understand that Paul speaks about joy in another way too. He speaks about it as an emotion that he derives from others, from their faith, from their sanctification, from their progress, from their actions. Philippians is a great example. If only you Philippians would be more like Christ, writes Paul, you would make my joy complete. He speaks about the believers there as being my joy, my crown. This is what Paul means. Supernatural, spirit-filled leaders give joy to and find joy in those whom they serve. Frankly, in many commentaries, writers don't really bother to explore whether this is what Paul means here. But in case you're worried, it's not just my view. I find myself in reasonable company. John Calvin agrees. Joy does not here, he writes, denote that joy in the Holy Ghost of which he speaks elsewhere, but that cheerful behaviour towards and from our fellow men, which is the opposite of moroseness. I like the way too that F. Bruce describes this fruit in his 1 and 2 Thessalonians commentary. He and they were so completely bound in love, he writes, that together their well-being was his great joy, as his indeed was theirs. Now just dwell on this a moment with me, friends. When the Spirit fills you for leadership, he enables you to be a bringer of joy to others and to find joy in them, both of these. A fruitful leader exudes joy. We know, of course, that joy does not equate to happiness. It's not trite or circumstantial. But when people have spent time with you, the joy you have should have rubbed off on them. But more than this, as leaders, I believe we have to be able to find joy in what the Lord is doing in others. That is surely rejoicing with those who rejoice. So when someone tells me they've had a good week, close to the Lord, I want my heart to skip a beat. I want to be thrilled. And it's supernatural because we're naturally selfish beings. We don't naturally find delight in others. We're more inward than that. That's why we need the Spirit's fruit. And I want that kind of joy. I want that kind of heart. And that will only come through being filled with the Spirit. What a difference this fruit could make to me. And what a difference it could make to you.